If you clicked on this video looking to simplify your life, then I have good news and bad news for you. The good news is that it's pretty simple to simplify your life, but the bad news is that most of you won't do it even after watching this video, because deep down you fell in love with the chaos in your life. But don't worry, you're not a lost cause. I was the same way. And in this video, I'm going to give you the step-by-step guide that I use to simplify my own life. Things you can start applying right after this video to finally stop complicating your life. And don't worry, this video is not going to be about deleting social media or going monk mode or whatever people recommend these days. Instead, this video is about giving you back control of your life by teaching you how to simplify three things: your digital space, your physical space, and your mental space. There are only two types of people when it comes to a complicated life. There is the paralysis person, meaning you have so many options and tasks that you end up not doing anything, you're late for everything, you're constantly overwhelmed, and life feels a little bit out of control. And you have the multitasker. You juggle a million things, but you never really excel at any of them. You lack focus, and so everything you do feels shallow and incomplete. Let me know in the comments which one are you, because I was definitely the multitasker. Remember what I said in the beginning of the video about being in love with the chaos in your life? Yeah, that actually happens a lot. Some people are in fact addicted to chaos. This happens because we get dopamine hits from the constant activity and overstimulation, which makes it very hard to let go of both physical and mental clutter. Do you ever find yourself mindlessly scrolling on your phone? Or maybe you have like 1,000 apps on your phone that you don't even touch for months, or maybe a closet full of stuff, but you only wear the same stuff every day. These are all very common signs of people who are overstimulated and addicted to chaos. But it gets a little deeper than that, because there's also an identity aspect to it. Because when you consider yourself busy, it gets tied to your self-worth. Simplifying life in that sense can make you feel like you're losing part of your identity because you were taught that productivity equals value. This is very far from being true, and it happened to me for the longest time. I was someone who was proud of being a workaholic, because ever since school, being productive meant that I was worth more, right? But productivity without intention is just an illusion. Without intention and goals, you're not being productive, you're just adding unnecessary complexity to your life. Having too many choices and things to do might seem important or secure, but in fact, it's just there to paralyze us. It's almost like society wants to keep you busy so you don't stop and question why are you doing what you're doing? Because if you're not living by design, then you're living by default. And the default mode of life is not made for people who have ambition and people who want to experience more of what life has to give. In my own experience, my life only started to change when I decided to change. When I decided that it was time to build a life that I don't need a vacation from. A life where I can express myself creatively and freely, doing things that truly brings me joy and excitement. I'm still in the process of that, and I'm documenting everything here on YouTube. Now, as usual, let's talk about some action items you can start implementing right after this video. When it comes to simplifying your life, you need to start thinking about three spaces: your digital space, your physical space, and your mental space. Let's start with the easiest one, your digital space. For your digital space, we'll talk about your phone, the work tools you have, and also what you consume. Let's start with your phone, and before we jump into it, let me make this very clear. Your phone is not the problem, it's the way you use it. So please do not download any of those apps that turn your phone into a dumb phone, because that's only going to mask the real problem behind it, which is how you use your phone. So don't rely on the machine to do something you are supposed to be in control of. Instead, train your brain to use your phone in a mindful way. Start by removing notifications and distractions. You only need notifications for essential apps like your bank and maybe your email. Everything else is just garbage and you don't need it. Delete unused apps. Ask yourself, are these apps adding any value, or they're just there filling up space? If they don't add anything, get rid of them. Next, you're going to turn on Do Not Disturb permanently. I promise you, it's been like this for my phone for years and it's life-changing. The same goes for your computer. Delete every unnecessary folder, file, anything you don't need. And if you have any hidden folders like them, just delete them, brother. What are you doing with your life? Those are pixels on a screen. And look, I know some of you won't like this, but please delete video games. This was a hard one for me because I was a video game addict for years and years of my life. So whether it's temporary or permanent, games are an easy source of distraction, and they're especially tempting to open when we are bored or not happy with work. So if gaming is a problem for you, please watch the video that I made about how to use your video game addiction to change your life, because it's truly going to help you. The link will be in the description. Now let's talk about what you consume. It's like Gary Vee said in one of his videos, show me your Instagram Explore page and I'll show you if you make it or not. Curate very carefully who you follow, what you consume, and what you put into your mind. And I know we are talking about your digital space here, but if you consume shit content, your whole digital environment and the things you interact with will be shit content. Now let's talk about the second phase, which is your physical space. Start this one by decluttering one area of your home each week. Do not rush this. Be very mindful in this step. You can start in your workspace, or you can start in any other high-use area of your home, like your kitchen, for example. Your goal here is to throw away or donate everything you don't really need. Do you really need 10 cups in your kitchen? Do you really need 20 different t-shirts? Probably not, so think through these and remove everything you don't really need. Next, your workspace. You probably spend at least 6 hours a day in here, so it needs to be a place that sparks creativity and also brings you mental clarity. You need that mental space to be able to think through problems creatively. Get rid of any chaotic things in your room, do some cable management, set up your lights, make it cozy and to your liking. Remove everything you don't need, especially those bottles of energy drink you have sitting in your table for a month ago. That's probably a good idea to get rid of them. A clean home and workspace is a reflection of your mind. Your environment dictates your behavior, from the place you live in to the people you hang out with. And that's a very good segue to start talking about the most important thing of this video, your mental space. By far the easiest way you can start taking care of your mental space is either by writing a journal or meditating. Ideally both, and you don't need hours or even 30 minutes a day to do that. All you need is 5 to 10 minutes in the morning or before you go to sleep to meditate or write a journal. Here's how. Find a quiet spot, sit down, close your eyes and focus on your breathing. And do that for 5 minutes. Whenever you feel you're losing focus, switch back your focus to your breathing. Just be aware of your thoughts here. You don't need to do anything else. As for writing, I have a very good video, if I say so myself, about the power of writing a journal. I'll put the link in the description and you can watch that right after we finish our conversation here. Another good thing you can do is to simplify your calendar or your schedule. For that, you list out your main commitments and you get rid of everything that doesn't add any value to you, because you don't want to become a hostage of your calendar. Remember, this video is about giving back control to you. You can also batch similar tasks, like answering emails in a 30-minute block instead of constantly checking. And another super important one for your mental space is learning how to say no. If a commitment doesn't align with your values, meaning if it's not a resounding hell yes, say no and move on. Creating boundaries like that will protect your time and your energy, and that's super important because both are irreplaceable. You also need to start removing unnecessary people from your life, and this is perhaps the hardest one. But like I mentioned, our environment will dictate a lot of how our life will go. So if you're only hanging out with people who are constantly complaining about life, or all they do is just drinking and gossiping, then eventually that's who you will become as well. You can start by slowly cutting off these people respectfully and putting yourself in places to find new people to make connections with, whether that's a course in a topic you really like or even sports. Only once you give yourself permission to stop trying to do it all, to stop saying yes to everyone, can you make your highest contribution. That's from Greg McKeown, the author of Essentialism, one of my favorite books of all time. Highly recommend you reading it. Another great book recommendation I can give you is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It taps into Stoicism, which is a very ancient philosophy about how to deal with the hardships of life through the lens of 4 guiding virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. It's an absolute banger of a book. These recommendations are something that I want to be doing in all of my videos from now on, so let me know what you think. In all of my videos, I already give you step-by-step guides and action items, and I thought that books and other resource recommendations can be a good way of adding more value to you. So let me know in the comments. Everything that I talked here are things that I have implemented in my own life, things that have brought me good results as someone who was very, very anxious multitasker to now being known for my organization and my purpose-driven approach to life. And yeah, I still struggle from time to time, no one's perfect, but when things get hard, I switch back to the basics, everything I just taught you here, because it is the backbone of a simple life. I've been implementing this lifestyle for a few years now, and I've seen a lot of improvement in my mental freedom, decision fatigue, and overall energy and creativity. I'm also in a much better health condition than I was just 2 years ago, because back then I was not even doing the bare minimum for my body. And now I'm able to exercise, I run, I eat clean. I don't do anything major, it's just doing the basics very well. There's also the aspect of improved relationships, because when you have less chaos in your life, it means you have more time to dedicate to meaningful connections, whether they're talking more often with your friends or even going out with your wife. And remember that workaholic version of me that I talked about? That motherfucker's gone. I still maintain my work ethic and dedication, but this time using intentional productivity instead of a mindless one. I'll make a video very soon about the concept of intentional productivity because I think it will help you a lot. I'll have a link in the description once that's ready. And I'll also let you know on my IG, because that's where I post all of the behind the scenes of this channel, and it's where I can have a closer connection to you all. Thank you so much for watching this video. There are a couple of videos on the screen right now that I think you will like. Subscribe to the channel, and if this video was valuable to you, consider sharing it with someone and leave a comment right here, because that's the only way we can build this community. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye and have a great day.